there was a new value that was brought about by technology, and they were based upon particular things. So, hydrogen, later on, coal. From coal, oil. Then it was ball bearings. And now it's lithium. So parties look to control them because they're strategic in value. If it has a processor in it, if it's a computer of any type, and requires electrical power generation of any type, watches, cell phones, air fryers, microwaves, whatever it is, it's going to be having lithium in there somewhere to power it. Laptops, tablets, all of that. So if you want to put a stranglehold on particular parties, restrict their access to lithium. So the bulk of the wars fought over oil, opium, and lithium in the modern era. Soon, they'll be fought over water. You've had a few minor conflicts already regarding water. However, it hasn't gotten ugly yet. There are many factors that is going to be causing globalization as folks know it in terms of commerce and trade to crumble and collapse. It's already starting, and parties right now are bulking. They don't want to spend 10,000 in gold to ship a container aboard a container ship. There are many factors that go into that. Most of our kith and kindred pay less than zero attention to this. All they know is they went to a store and they bought the item, or they ordered the item online, as some would say, and it came to their door. What went into that particular piece of equipment, materials, and supplies that they bought being produced and shipped to their door, or on the shelf where they pick it up? More often than not, our folks don't pay attention to any of that. They only pay attention when the access is denied. Now they want to pay attention. When most of our folks are mere end users as opposed to producers of equipment, materials, and supplies, this is to be expected. So I know that some of the folks that's talking to us about amalgamating into the Amexem-Moor-Empire right now, a lot of things for them are culture shock. Everyone when it comes to the venue has been through it in one form or another. Because the requirement to level up in all aspects, in all spheres of influence, inside of collective life and private life, and the sheer will and determination and discipline that's required to go along with all that, and the strictness that we have to have within this jurisdiction and venue that they're not used to. Having common sense and grace in an era where folks are not only comfortable in their captivity, they are comfortable in their filth. They eat mental slop. So their brains are mental slop. And some don't like how we speak to this. However, they need to hear it. They get offended. They don't realize this is a love degree. And we love them enough to risk their wrath and their anger for telling them the truth to their face. When you have our kith and kindred in the condition that they're in, because they volunteer to be that way and stay that way, our very presence does one of two things: repels them, or cause them pause. They will pause for a moment and reflect because within their spirit they know better. However, they voluntarily trap themselves in the mundane, lower self nonsense. When they're watching stupid shows like Raising Kanan and Power and all these other stupid shows they have on televised television and these quote-unquote award shows. Again, if you eat mental slop, our folks choose to be mental slop. When we say to them through our actions, stop, no, don't. Some resent us. Others, they just run the other way. Because now that you force them to look themselves in the mirror, they are now accountable for whatever actions they take or don't take to adjust course. They don't want to adjust course. That's the overwhelming evidence. They will wait till the last minute to do anything that's practical and sensible on a collective basis. Our folks, good, bad, or indifferent, our folks over here have lost their way. On the other side of the ocean, they have their own head issues. However, as a rule, they still move as a unit. Over here, our folks don't move as a unit. And collectively, our folks, our kith and kindred, are paying for it. And by default, indirectly, so are we. The look on the face when we come through and we give our Islams to the men and then we bow to the women, and the looks on some of their faces when we bow to them, like, Some women actually bow back, like, no, Umi, no, mother, you don't bow to us as men. Men bow to you. If anything, you curtsy, but you don't bow. Not the same. They're not taught anymore. The little things add up and they mean a lot. Desire and will to see this change? Well, we have to be the example. And parties either catch up or they don't. I just know that it's not just having knowledge itself. Nationality is not enough, and it's not a catch-all for everything. Parties voluntarily contract all their nationality rights and protections away on a daily basis anyway, and you can't tell them anything. Nationality, in conjunction with independent industry, commerce, and trade, along with having a sense of propriety, trained in the etiquettes, some class and some grace about us again. Having a sense of Ummah again. So when we tell folks what's required when they amalgamate into the Amexem-Moor-Empire, because we have that sense of Ummah here. Sometimes you can see it in their faces during the interviews. It's jarring to them. I have to do what now? We move as a unit? I have to remember that there's ripple effects. Anything I do officially or privately impacts fellow nationals everywhere. Hard reality. And they see the responsibility in it. And so I respect it when folks say the Amexem-Moor-Empire is too strict for me. I'm not ready for that. I'd rather you tell us on the front end. Save everybody the headache. We're going to throw you out, and we'll have a lot of paperwork we got to do. So I respect that. So when we tell folks it's hard to amalgamate into the Amexem-Moor-Empire and even harder to stay, because Your sheer will and determination to think, act, and speak as the quintessential Moor cannot wane, cannot weaken. It has to get stronger, because amalgamating in is one thing, earning the right to stay, that's something altogether different. And again, when you're surrounded on all sides, above and below, by the colonized and hostiles and their melanated puppets that think like them, and their default benefactors that's melanated that think, act, and speak because they're programmed by them, they are merely educated as opposed to being learned. And they cannot bring that nonsense here. We tell everybody, wipe that mud off your feet when you come in our door. They're going to unlearn everything you think you know when you come to the Amexem-Moor-Empire. We tell them this. Us telling them no, and them seeing for themselves as two separate and distinct things. Oh, they weren't playing. They were serious. Yes, we're serious. Because in discourse and international discourse, moving collectively, we are a reflection of each other. To be taken seriously and negotiate from a position of strength, we cannot be weak in any shape, way, fashion, or form in any arena that we are engaging in. And so the subtleties and intricacies of language, the operations of the imperial etiquettes, and the sultanates, the royal etiquettes, and the general etiquettes overall, manners are not an option, not within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. They are an absolute requirement. And parties coming here, we have all these different trainings now, and the briefings resume at the Moor's Emergence Day. Everyone thinks we're strict now, but become more strict. What these fools at Davos and the World Economic Forum are working to do with their addition of the digital handcuffs to go along with the regular handcuffs that they intend to put on the bulk of the folks across this planet, we don't have time for folks in their head games and their nonsense and their agendas. We'll leave them where we find them. And I'll say good night.